and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to tell you my top 3 ways of how I like to stay on top of my money, and also I'm going to tell you my updated payday routine so that you can kind of know what I like to go through and check off whenever I get paid to just kind of make sure everything is in order and in check and that I'm actually reaching my savings goal. My first tip to stay on top of your money is to get to zero. Essentially, I want you to assign everything that you make down to the dollar or the pound, wherever you're at, whatever currency. Everything that you make, you're going to assign it a category. Whether this is like your savings account, your expenses account, if you have separate pots like I do on Monzo, for example, whatever your case may be, every single thing that you earn, you're going to assign a specific place. And the whole point of getting to zero is that then by the end of the month, whatever is in your main account, your checking account, you kind of want to get to zero because that is your allocated spending for the month. My next one is a very popular money rule, which is the 50-30-20 rule. This rule is quite cliche and you can definitely adjust these values to kind of fit your income and lifestyle a little bit more, but the base rule is that 50% of your earnings go to your needs, 30% go to your wants, and 20% goes to your savings. I sometimes like to flip the wants and savings around depending on the month, where I actually put 30% to my savings and 20% to my wants, because the needs are things like your rent, your bills, your groceries, everything that you need to actually get through the month and to live, right? Like food, shelter, medicine, stuff like that. All of the wants are things like going out, ordering takeaway, getting a drink, getting some coffee, anything that you want, but you know, like, yeah, it makes our life better and more fun, but it's not something that like we 100% need, and that's kind of like the separation between those two. And then your savings, of course, are things that you're going to save up for, whether this be an emergency fund or whether it be investments, or if you're saving for like a trip or to make a bigger purchase, whatever the case may be that you're saving for, you're technically meant to allocate 20% to that. Now, savings is really important, especially nowadays. Things are becoming a lot more expensive and you don't want to get yourself into like an unexpected situation and not be ready for it financially. My go-to quote I say on this channel a lot is that I want to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, and that applies to so much in my life, but especially when it comes to like an emergency fund, I much rather have savings ready to go and never need to touch them than the other way around. So that's why most months I do like to kind of flip around that 20 and 30%. I'm kind of at a place where around 50% of my income does go to my needs. I do live in London, and so that's actually like a pretty average amount. I feel like some people spend even more because of rent, but I'm quite lucky in my situation where I live with my boyfriend and he pays a little bit more rent than me, so I'm able to stay within that 50% range of my income to all of my needs. And then depending on the month, you know, obviously if it's my birthday month or if I'm celebrating like a friend, then maybe I'll do 30% to wants. But if it's like a regular month where I have nothing really major going on, I definitely like to save as much as I can and then spend less on things that I don't really need. And then my last tip to staying super on top of your money, this is the most crucial one actually, it is to check your bank account every single day. And I'm not even kidding or exaggerating when I say every single day. When I go like a week or even 2 weeks without looking at my account, if I'm just like spending and living my life, that is when I get in the most trouble. Because I will be honest, for as much as I love personal finance, I'm still a girl in my 20s, and sometimes I do make purchases that like I probably wouldn't do if I had been on top of my account and actually like knowing exactly how much I had and where my money was going. It's actually really important to check your account every single day, and I know that that can give a bit of anxiety, but if you're not aware of your situation on a daily basis, you might have days where you kind of forget exactly what's going on, or you choose to purposely ignore what's going on and you're in denial. Whatever the case may be, it's super important to check your account every day, because at least to me, that is one of the most helpful things to stay on top of my money, because like I mentioned, whenever I do go a few days or a week or two without checking my account, that's when I really see the careless spending of things that I really don't need. So definitely stay on top of your account. I would say if you can, check it every day. If not, just check it a few times a week. Make a habit out of it, because you're gonna feel so much more in control just knowing how much is in that account. It sounds a bit funny if you've never tried that before, but I swear it works. So if you are someone who doesn't usually check their account, try it for the next month. Check in every single day or every few days and just see how this month goes in terms of your spending, because you should hopefully see some positive actions coming out of this. Now, before we move on to talk about my updated payday routine, I want to quickly talk to you guys about Magic Mind, this amazing little shot. It's a mental performance shot and it's so fantastic. I've been taking it for about 2 weeks now. I'm literally on my last day today, and it's made such a difference in my energy and also my productivity, which is kind of part on how I stay on top of my money, which is really, really good. They have sent me a discount code for y'all, which is really exciting. You can use this code to get 20% off a single order or 48% off your first subscribe order. So definitely check the link out down below and And now let's move on to my payday routine. I actually get paid on the 26th of each month, and the day before I get paid, I always have like the pending amount on my bank already showing, and that is my budget day. So every single time on the 25th, or if it falls on the weekend, the 26th, and maybe I got paid on the 24th, but you kind of get the gist. The day before I get paid, I see my pending amount. That is my budget day. I used to budget on Notion, but I've actually changed for almost 6 months. I've been using Google Sheets, and it's been really good. I just have been finding it a little bit easier than I did with Notion, a little bit less manual, if that makes sense. I created a template for myself, and in this template I have my category for my needs, so things like my rent, my council tax, my phone bill, my TFL. I paid the monthly card for the TFL, and then I also have like all of my subscriptions. And then what I do is whatever I get paid, because I work in retail, so it's not like a fixed amount every month. It varies just a little bit. Whatever is that I get paid, I put it in the cell, and then it will show me how much I have left over to put towards my variable spending and towards my savings as well. So my variable is partially needs and partially wants. So it would be like grocery and pharmacy, which I consider needs, and then things like ordering food, going out, getting coffee out, or shopping and miscellaneous, those I consider things like my wants. So basically the way that I do it is I have like a set amount for my variable spending, which is typically around 400 to 450 pounds, and that is everything for groceries, pharmacy, food, like everything I just mentioned. So depending on that month, if I know I have like more birthdays to go to or just more days at work, like whatever the case may be, I will kind of adjust my variable spending if I need to, but typically it sits within this range. After that, it will calculate for me automatically how much money I have left to then put into savings. And I don't put the exact same amount into my different like pots and savings accounts each time. I have two main savings accounts, which is my like big saver, I call my like emergency fund, the one that I just never touch. And then I have a flex saver, which is what I like to call it, which is basically just a separate savings account, but that I can dip in and out of as needed if, let's say, something comes up out of nowhere, like leaving drinks for one of my friends, for example, and I didn't account for that in my variable spending. And because I like to get to zero, if something unexpected comes up, even if it's like £5 or like 20 or 30, I need to dip into like my flex saver. So that's what that's there for. And then I also have my Monzo account, all the little pots of things that I'm saving for specifically, whether that be a trip, a concert, like an item of clothing or a perfume. I have my little pots because I'm someone who, if it's something that I don't really need, I prefer to save up for it rather than just buy it on a whim most of the time. Again, I am just a girl in her 20s, so sometimes I do get carried away and I make purchases without really thinking about them, but the majority of the time I'm quite calculated with how I save and how I spend my money. So whenever I see that amount that I kind of have left after my needs and my variable costs have been deducted for, that's where I can allocate that to my different savings pots, and that's kind of my routine and how I budget. And then back to what I was saying in the beginning, I check my account every day, and everything I spend I track on my Google Sheets manually. So like I will add every single transaction that I do each month, which is also why checking your account daily or every few days is helpful, because then at the end of the month you don't have like a huge thing to do. I just upload 2 or 3 things every few days, and then I can kind of track exactly where my money is going, how much I'm spending. It just gives me like a really good idea of my finances and really helps me stay on top, and it's what allows me to save for the things that I want without any like major setbacks. That brings us to the end of today's video. I hope that you found this useful and that you enjoyed. If there's anything that you want to share, please drop in the comments down below. I would love to know all of your money tips as well. And don't forget to check out Magic Mind with the discount code below. I'll see you all in my next one. Bye!